To go to the channel on my phone to see if it's actually like on and shit.
Yeah, if you want
Okay.
to. All right, what's up, yo? I think we're live. Maybe we're not, but I got Edwards here,
So
and so we did, WrestleMania weekend, whatever. I posted a video about how we're gonna res the channel and do kind of stuff like this. So, a lot of big to dos this weekend during Mania. We had Stone Cold wrestled again. We had Cody make his debut, which is going to be the topic of our little chat here / video. Just for many reasons, but mainly because Hollywood's salty.
salty, very salty.
Classic.
And I want opinions. I want opinions on if I'm being salty for no reason or not.
Yeah, because I mean we'll get into it, but because I agree with Hollywood, but like I'm sure there's people out there, and hopefully you viewers, I'm sure you guys are gonna be disagreeing because I know a lot of people like Cody, but and it's not we'll get into it, but it's not necessarily a like or dislike thing. It's just kind of the way he's acting. I don't know. Would you agree with that, Hollywood? It's kind of just like a I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's starting to make me feel a certain type of way about him.
Yeah,
You
same
know?
thing. I want to say I still like him as a performer. He's a great storyteller. I still like the dude. However, my opinion is changing as time goes on here over the past, you know, whenever his contract came up, January. I guess he was working on a handshake with Tony. And then whatever, they couldn't get some agreement that neither of them will talk about. Whatever.
Right.
Dude, it's so weird. Like, we'll get into it. Go ahead. So,
So yeah, like I that's another thing too, right? Like I guess to prelude this, the way I feel about it too is very much like he did. First of all, he's an EVP, which means he literally has power. So let's keep that in mind. Second of all, he did a ton of stuff to the side. Like he had his reality show. He did that game show, right? Whatever it was with Snoop Dogg.
the big, go home something show.
Which I'm sure like ratings were not great on. There's no way, like I don't know, whatever. But so, right, like it's clear that like maybe his priority wasn't wrestling, and we'll get into this article that Hollywood sent me earlier today, which is the reason why we came on here. I'll just put it on the screen for you guys so you can follow along with us. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to prelude anything? How about did you like his match at Mania with Seth? How'd you feel about it?
I know everybody's talking like it was a great match, but I thought he looked slow. And it was like I think I said, I don't know if it was to you or one of the other guys, but I said, if this match had a 3-month story attached to it with Seth, it would have been better because he's great at, long, old school, drawn out psychological matches.
Right.
He's great at it. And that's kind of what they put on, but there was no story backing it up. Now, of course, you had the Seth being Triple H's protege and him, Triple H is actually his favorite wrestler, but, the image is, he destroyed the throne and all that. So they were jockeying for position to use the pedigree.
Right, yeah.
So they had that bit of it in there. But I didn't think it was that great of a match.
I didn't either.
I didn't.
I
I didn't.
I didn't, and I actually meant to rewatch it, because we watched it together. But it to me it didn't seem. I mean, like so, what I remember from it were the 3 crossroads at the end, which made Cody look super strong, and the cutter thing he did. And other than that, I was just like, I can't really tell you much that happened, to be honest with
No,
you.
no.
And I don't like it's not. I don't know. I expected more out of him. And the weird thing about that is, like you said, a lot of people loved it. The weird thing about it is the next day on Raw they shook hands, so it's like,
Yeah.
like I thought maybe it wasn't gonna be as great as it could be because they were gonna do another one, maybe I don't know, but I mean we'll see what happens. But the handshake thing is weird in and of itself, so I'm already kind of like, yo, what's going on, Cody? I don't know, but then again, remember it's Vince. And that's another thing too, I guess. Before we get into the article, the promo he did, you could tell it was like WWE style promo. Like you could tell he had a couple writers helping him. Even the emotion he showed at times seemed like kind of real, but it seemed kind of like very acty. I don't know.
It seemed like work.
Yeah, I didn't see real tears there, and I'm not saying
I didn't see real tears either. And the camera was zoomed in, pal. Get in there.
Get in tight, pal. But
get in tight. Kevin, get in tight.
Kevin. But, yeah. So I don't know, dude. I have my reservations about him already, and I kind of already did. I think.
Yeah, I'll preface it by saying this too. So you have me, for example, we're going to get a lot of probably new listeners that probably never heard us before, even though we've both been doing this off and on for I don't know how long,
right?
6 years or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But, so you have WWE. For me, going back to like 2014, 15, 16, covering WWE on podcasts weekly became such a freaking headache that I had to get away from it, right?
Right.
Because of the booking, it's the same shit over and over. It's the same laid out recipe every week on SmackDown, and they do the thing with the feuds. And this guy, look, here's what I'll say. Almost nothing changed at WrestleMania. Almost and Lashley, they further that feud Monday night. So you're gonna get that again, and then you're gonna get that again, and then you're gonna get that again, and then you're gonna be sick of it, right?
Right.
That's what they do. So I had to get away from it. AEW comes along, awesome. When you get to that perspective of WWE and you're tired of it, you kind of look at their card and you see mid-carders, okay? And I'm going to go back a couple years to the old podcasting network we were all on. Dusty Rhodes passes away. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
We all said to each other when that happened, it's finally going to happen. What they need to do tonight on Raw, they need to have Cody in the back, taking off the Stardust gimmick, and going out as Cody Rhodes. It didn't happen. From that point on, as far as Cody's involved with, and I think a lot of AEW fans feel this way, a lot of Cody Rhodes fans feel this way. From that point on, we wanted Cody to leave the WWE, which he did. He put out that list on social media. I want to face this guy, this guy, this guy. He goes to TNA, he goes to ROH, he goes to Japan. Awesome. We're getting the Cody Rhodes that we always wanted to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. He goes to AEW, and what happens? He books himself. This is going 2019. This is year one, right? Books himself against Jericho. And when I say books himself, him, Kenny, and the Bucks all have creative control at that point. I'm not saying creative control. Tony's still the filter, whatever you want to say. Tony's the boss. Tony's the owner. I get it. But if Cody would have said, I want to fight for the title, by God, Tony would have let him fight for the title.
Exactly.
Instead, what does Cody do? Day one. Jericho, if I don't beat you, then I'll never fight for the title again. Okay, he's out there in every interview saying this shit. I want to put the young guys over. As a matter of fact, he was on with Ariel Helwani yesterday, 2 days ago. I didn't want to be a gatekeeper at AEW. Dude, you decided you decided this.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I will never understand is like he totally. And it's like it's so avoidable because it's not like he needed to even do that. Like he literally could have just stayed away from the title scene and not had that stipulation, and no one would have thought differently. Like it could have been like, oh, like we don't care if we wait 2 years and then you're in the title scene. Like just don't book yourself into oblivion a week in because then you're screwed. Like so then he makes the TNT title whatever, but it still like it's. But probably one of the most idiotic booking things I've ever heard of. Like, think about historically. Like, think about that historically. Like, I don't think anyone's done that before. Like, booked themselves out of the, relevancy of the show. Like, it's always someone abusing their power. And them,
right.
It's like nobody's done that.
And this is the thing about Cody, though. I'm sure he didn't want to be Kevin Nash in WCW. When Nash had the book, everybody, here's Nash is the champ. Okay, it happens, right?
Right.
And he specifically did what he did to not be that guy. I get it. But that's what we wanted as New Japan fans.
Yes, exactly.
We wanted the Bucks, we wanted Kenny, and we wanted Cody. And we didn't get it. And I'll take it a step further. Year one, instead of the Bucks being the champs, they decided to stay away to put other guys over. But who were the champs? Probably the best singles wrestler, maybe still going today, Kenny Omega,
right,
is the tag team champion with Hangman Page. While the Bucks, who are the greatest tag team probably going today, arguably,
Right.
We're sitting on the sidelines, and I'm looking at this, and you could go back, Cool Truths, all of it. We did this. It drove us nuts for the first year. What are they doing? And they all decided to do it this way.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing. I mean, so I will say, like in 2022, where we are now, they obviously have a lot of players there, especially that have some pull, especially like Punk.
Well,
Wow.
I think. Listen, judging from where I'm sitting as a wrestling fan, after what I just said, the past 3 years, Cody on the Indies, they do All In, AEW opens. 3 years later, all of a sudden, Cody wants to. Listen, Cody was out there running his mouth for 3 years. A revolution.
Dude.
We're gonna start a revolution. You can't see it, but I'm doing the shoulders. A revolution, right? And what does he do the first chance he gets? He runs back. And I think one of the reasons is the roster in 2019. Yeah, he was in a great spot, right? He wanted to get some guys over like Darby, which he did. You know, he helped there. Sammy Guevara, which he did. He helped there. He helped to make stars. But now, dude, when you look at their roster, where does Cody fit there?
So here's the thing. Obviously he's, I don't want to say complete mid card, but he's upper mid card. But once again, like, dude, it's his own fault because he wasn't on TV for how long. So like he could still be there. He could still have improved, whatever. But the problem is too, dude, is like if you look at WWE's roster, he doesn't slot in at number 1 either. Do you see him wrestling Roman or Brock? Like think about that. Like he's not like dude. Even like I can't even see him in a match with Drew where he wins. I really can't. Like Bobby Lashley, I'm sure he'll have like maybe he'll, like if he dude, it's weird. Like he thinks like I guess we can go to the article pretty soon. But dude, he thinks like he is like some main event, and like you said in 2019 he was, because the only guys there that were like top guys were Jericho and Omega at first. Like think about that. It was 2 guys, and then Cody would probably be 3, and Hangman was on the come up. So it's not like he was the guy yet. He was still, I still whatever. I have my feelings about Hangman, but he still was like he's that blue chip prospect kind of thing. So now, like you said, bro, they have way too many guys that, especially like I said, with pull. Like you're telling me CM Punk, like he's outside in his interviews. Punk said like, dude, like I have basically creative freedom to do what I want. I'm sure he influences where people are on the card just by like not even necessary, but almost like Mandela effect. Like whatever he's doing affects other people. Like if you're telling me that Khan is gonna make room for Punk, Jeff Hardy right now, Matt Hardy, whatever, and then Cody, like, dude, I understand why Cody's like, all right, I probably went out now, but once again, 100% his fault in my opinion. Yeah. So
well said right there.
I guess we can leave it there, and I'll show you guys this article because this is what Edward sent to me, and yeah, it's a little bit. We'll just take this quote by quote, I guess.
Let's do it.
All right, so
breaking down Cody.
So I'll start here. So this is written by, I don't even know who's, Marco Rovere. Okay, it just came out today. Marco, baby. All right, so we got for the first paragraph, whatever, it talks about shocking return WWE. Former TNT. That's funny actually that they included that. The former TNT champion talked in detail about what his issues are during the end of his run with AEW and why it was ultimately just time to come back, given the person he would be facing in Seth Rollins. Interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where the quotes start, people, and this is where it gets a little bit salty for us, I think. So Cody said it would go in waves in terms of I didn't want to be a gatekeeper of pro wrestling, which Edwards already said. I'm already laughing. I didn't want to be, he's the guy, this is in quotes, he's the guy at AEW that you come in and you have your first program with or story with. That wasn't how the first year in AEW went for me. Once again, 112% his fault, okay?
Yep.
I wanted to be the American Nightmare. I wanted to keep expanding and I wanted to move. Also, I had wrestled everybody I had wanted to wrestle there. I truly had.
Stop there for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at his history, and I'm not going to remember everybody, right?
Right.
But in his TNT title reign, they brought in Eddie Kingston basically on a tryout.
Right.
And the fans fell in love with him, like, oh, we got to keep this guy. So they kept him. So, okay, good for Cody, right? He agreed to do the match. They gave him a microphone, right? Before the match, Eddie cut that promo, and everybody was like, oh, my God, we got to sign this guy. Okay, point Cody. He wrestled Brody Lee. He had 2 great matches with Brody.
Yeah.
He wrestled Darby, Sammy. Who else? 4 guys. 4 guys is all...
4 guys.
Seriously, like if you think about it, I wrestled everybody I wanted to wrestle. Dude, that's a cop-out.
Yeah, oh.
I'm telling you, he's covering for something here.
It totally is.
You're telling me he doesn't want to wrestle CM Punk? Okay.
Dude, okay, so it's not even like even if he had said this, like clearly I feel like he said this from a perspective of like young guys or guys who he's giving a chance to. What about like Ricky Starks, okay? What about, you know, literally just name anybody in the last
Powerhouse Hobbs,
Lee, right? Keith Lee.
Newer guys to the roster.
It's not even about being young, right? It's about these, you know, guys like you said, the newer guys to the roster that just came in. Dude, what if he would have wrestled Sting? That would have sold some tickets, you know?
Sure.
Like, just because of the, you know, Dusty Sting that's old school. I'm sure they could have done something there. Like you said, Punk. Did he wrestle Jericho? I don't think he did. Like, I'm sure that could have been
he did that one time and he lost, so that's, you know, no more title.
Oh, dude, MJF versus him. Right? Like, that could have been something, like, long-term. He didn't, like, touch Hank. That's the thing, dude. It's not like... It's not even about working with these people. It's because I think... And, like, I think he wanted to be on top at all times and be the number 1 face in the company. And I think he realized...
Even though he says he doesn't.
Yeah, but...
I think he does.
Right, exactly. But I think his actions speak louder than words. Like, okay, so if we go down in this paragraph, right? I was about to get to this. Like, this just, you know... So, whatever. No disrespect to the guys I didn't wrestle, but my interest, right? People who you never been in the ring with. Darby's, Max's, and the Sammy's finally got a mature Sammy, I guess. I leave, and then he's basically making a sex tape with the title. Damn, Sammy, damn. To me, that speaks, bro, you're just salty because he's over. like, right? Like, Sam, like, I know he posted that stuff, whatever. Like, first of all, who cares? Like, why bring that up? If you're, like, this mature veteran person, Sammy has had like, from what I've seen, he's had a really good TNT title reign. And he puts on, every time he's on Dynamite, to me, it's like the match of the night, honestly. And just because of how athletic he is, whatever. I think that he's a future star, whatever. I think Cody sees that kind of stuff and he gets intimidated, which is why he wanted to leave. So think about the average age, right, at AEW.
Yeah.
They're all, I mean, you got some old veterans, but for the most part, most of the roster's in their late 20s, early 30s, right? WWE's totally opposite. Like, you still got Bobby Lashley wrestling in his 40s. Lesnar's in his 40s. Reigns isn't young anymore. Rollins is getting up there. Like, he's around guys that are his age. And, like, I feel like because of the way that Vince is, he's not going to get... Like, when Vince says something, he's going to, you know, push you that way. I don't think... I mean, for now, anyway. I think Cody saw that and was like, oh, I'll be at the top of the card, mostly. And the show's going to center around me. Which is clearly what he wants, right? So...
And that's a credit to Tony Khan, too, because if you remember a few years ago, we were doing some videos on YouTube with other people, and we were going through, you know, should they get James Storm? Should they get Ryback? Should they... And no, Tony didn't do that. Like, he picked some guys.
Right.
But the Darby Allins, the Sammy Guevaras, you have to give him credit for that because he had the foresight to say, no, I'm going to build some guys. And 3 years from now, they're going to surpass guys like Cody because...
Right.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, you know, you got to give him credit for that.
So, the next paragraph, right?
Yes.
It's a little bit of the same. Those were the guys and girls that I wanted to work with. Red Velvets and Jades and such, which...
Okay, stop there.
Yeah, okay. Glad you have something to say about this.
I read that and just laughed. Just laughed. Because he wanted to... Okay, while he's there, right, he's choosing Red Velvet and Jade. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if you read that, though, it looks like they're like the upper echelon of, like, women's wrestling. But we know better. So why are you saying it? He's using all this shit as excuse to me. That's how it's coming off.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And to take it a step further, dude, and I said this to you in a text, but I bought in, and this is why I'm getting angry about it. I feel like Cody worked me. Mm-hmm. Now looking back, it seems like he left WWE. He leeched himself like a bitch to Bullet Club.
Yes.
They got him over, not the other way around. They got him over. And he morphed that into a multi-year, 7-figure a year. He said it's ludicrous money, and I'll take his word for it. So what's he getting? $3 million a year, $5 million a year, whatever you want to say ludicrous is.
Yeah.
Go for it. He morphed that by using Kenny, Nick, and Matt. Now they might hear this and laugh like this guy doesn't get the business. It's just business. Okay, well you could look at it that way, but he worked me,
dude. And
as he's saying revolution, he worked the entire wrestling community.
And I think that it seems like everything he's ever done has been, like you said, like he leeched on like a bitch. Like so for instance, like he goes to the Bullet Club, like you said, in their height, right?
Yep.
Literally, like they couldn't have gotten any bigger when he arrived. And honestly, since he got there, it went downhill, right? Like they kind of were already, I don't want to say dying, but like they were already there for a while. You know, Styles was probably gone at that point, right? I would think.
Yeah, Styles was gone. Basically, Kenny kind of ran his course.
Yes.
Ran his course as Bullet Club ace or whatever you want to say. So,
right. So
and Cole. So yeah, it was time I think to move on from that. But
okay, so you look at like even. And the next sentence here is about Dusty, right? It's Dusty is not around anymore, and I can't do what I originally wanted to do, which was the big one, which was win the big one and hand it to him. The dream is gone, but is it? It's not gone, right? So it's like everything he's ever done has been leeching. It's like I said this to you also, but like for you viewers out there, like think really long and hard about like what Cody Rhodes has stamped out by himself. That's not leeching off of someone like the Bullet Club. And I don't mean to be a dick, but R.I.P. the great Dusty Rhodes. But, you know, leeching off your dead dad's legacy is not something that, like, should be... That's not going to get you over for the rest of time. At some point, you're going to be, like, a little crybaby, right? Like,
right. I think it might have the opposite effect. I think WWE fans are going to get sick of Dusty. Because obviously... Because this is what happens. Because they run things down their throat because they're not very creative, right? Mm-hmm. He comes out in his opening promo, and he shows a picture of his dad. And I get it. From his perspective, I get it. He ran from his legacy, but now he's going to embrace that legacy.
Right.
Dude, it's always been about you being a Rhodes. Okay? So now you're going to go for it, and then the next thing out of his mouth is says, I want that title. No, and again, as an AEW fan, 3 years ago, he chose the opposite in AEW.
Yep.
Whose fault is that, Cody?
I think it's pretty obvious whose fault that is. Dude, it's like you said, it's absolutely, like, ludicrous that he just... I have to, we got, like, a porno site thingy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Good job, porno
so I've got
leave a comment.
I got
like, subscribe.
I don't know then hide him. Okay. All right. Good. We're not going to ban him. We need the viewership, so.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
We'll get Vincent here.
Yeah, pal.
HD, naked HD XYZ online strips without closing. Oh, yeah.
That's what you want.
Right. So, anyway. Enough of the porno.
You get the girls and the guys will come, too.
Cody. All right.
Good shit.
Such good shit. All right.
Randy.
Yeah. That's the real reason Cody got signed, because he's leeching off his wife, probably.
The old ring announcer.
Yeah. So it is sad to think about, like, that dude. Like, I don't know how you can sit there and actually leech off of, like, a legacy. And like you said, that's something that they have to worry about. Like, what if the WWE fans... you know, hate Dusty, or like not hate Dusty, but they like think about his legacy because it's getting oversaturated. That like if you're Cody, like just separate yourself entirely from that, bro. If you think about his best match, probably since actually ever, that now that I think about it, probably like his best match ever was against his brother because it was built around them being brothers, which goes back to Dusty.
Yep.
It's like, dude, I can't tell you another match I've seen of his that I'm like, bro, like. That was incredible. And he's in there once again with his older brother, who's a ring general at that point. He's like in his 50s. He's a veteran.
Absolutely.
I don't... And the thing is, dude, like, even when he was working with these younger guys, I still don't think that. It was just clear to me, like, I don't know if he has it. I don't think he's just not as good as people think he is, or but mainly he's not as good as he thinks he is, right? Like, he's so lame when you go out there and you're talking about the same shit over and over again. And like you said, he's like, I want to start a revolution, whatever. Dude is literally in WWE over because of this revolution thing. People are cheering him about a song that is talking about Vince. Like,
yes,
bro,
yes,
like, that's so stupid. like, dude, like, at that point, change your song. That song means nothing. Like, the song is about revolting and, like, breaking away from this and, like, oh, I'm better than this, whatever. Wrestling has more than one royal family, which, once again, you're leeching off your father. So not only that, but now you're leeching off the fact that, like, it doesn't even make sense. His character doesn't even make sense anymore. Like, that whole thing, like, the American Nightmare thing is, like, dude, like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so just, he needs, like, someone needs to give him a new song or something, and, like, he needs to learn to just, like, be himself, if he even can do that. I honestly wouldn't be mad. Like, I think it would have almost been better for his career if, like, he came back as, like, a character, you know, maybe. But just based off of the first Raw, it seems like that's not gonna. It's clearly gonna be based around him leaving, coming back. You know.
Well, here's the other thing for his future, and I don't think I'm being too overcritical, but when you look at, I'll just take it to, I mean, WrestleMania, people went nuts for him.
Right.
But you could already see, and I don't think if I am being overcritical or overthinking it, whatever, leave it down in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. Plug the Discord. Q.
Yes, I'll put the Discord in the description for sure.
But he came down. He gets the pop when they hear wrestling has more than one royal family. Right? Gets the pop. Oh, my God, it's Cody Rhodes.
Right.
He comes down, right? And he's like at the bottom of the ramp, almost at the ring, and he's looking around, just taking it in. And the pop kind of died. And then he's doing the hands, like, I'm back. And then the pop comes back. And I'm going, wait a minute. When CM Punk debuted, it was like it sounded like a damn airport, right? With the airplanes just constantly running. Okay, so then he goes in the ring, and he's standing there, and if anybody saw the WWE Hall of Fame, Taker came out, and it was a good 5 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
Before he could even speak because the jet engine noise from the crowd was roaring. It didn't happen for Cody. There was a pop, but he acted like he couldn't talk.
Yep.
And I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, if I see this on day 2, what's Vince going to say when he sees it week, and then a month down the road? He's going to be thinking, I got to do something because he can't sustain this.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, his character, what he's doing right now is something that's been at least, 2 years, a year through his AEW run. It's something that, like, he can't, like you said, he can't maintain because it's kind of ridiculous that he's still doing it right now. It's the same shit he's been doing for 7 years since he left, right? Like, and so here's another thing, right? This next quote, right? He's talking about facing Seth at Mania, okay? And whatever he said, I remember watching the Mania where Seth won. He's swinging the title around. He was on top of the world, and rightfully so, and he had worked for it. This pisses me off too, this quote. He just got there a little quicker than I did, and I didn't expect that, but he did, and it felt good to catch up. Literally catch up on the level and show what had been missing. Like, dude, I'll finish the quote too, because it's a little ridiculous. When I said undesirable, it didn't mean anybody didn't like me. I just wasn't a priority, and you've got to make yourself a priority. And I did that. Now the work begins to keep going. So, first of all, the Seth thing. I can name like 3 things Seth does better than him. Number 1, he's actually like athletic, right? He's a great wrestler in the ring, which that alone gets people over, right?
Yep.
Number 2, he has always found a way to reinvent himself, right?
Yep.
Think about how many characters we've had of Seth Rollins. He was a Shield guy, then he was the Authority guy, then he was hurt for a little bit. He came back, he was doing like the Burn It Down stuff, then he did the Messiah stuff, and now he's doing the Joker stuff, which is
the Visionary.
Great. The Visionary, right?
And I love it. I love the Visionary.
Right, yeah. That's great character stuff, great character development. Like, he's just the fact that he even is saying stuff about Seth. Oh, I didn't expect him to be there, but like whatever.
Quicker than me.
Quicker than me, yeah. Like, dude, it's not about you always. Like a normal person here would have said, I was great working with Seth. I'm so, like, he's an awesome guy. He's one of the top guys in the business. I feel honored, whatever. That's not what he's saying. Right here, he's saying, dude, like, I feel like I was always on that level, even though they didn't view me as that. Basically, right?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, it's like, I don't, and what is this? I just wasn't a priority, and you've got to make yourself a priority thing. Like, dude, you just be grateful, like, that you were there, because literally what he showed us from leaving is, like you said, he leeches off of people, he does mediocre work, and then he just dips until he can find something better. So it's like, maybe if you just would have, like, paid your dues, like Seth Rollins was a part of a group, right? Like, he was, like, kind of, a part of 1/3 because he was awesome and he worked hard. He broke out of that show. He was chosen because they took a chance on him. And when he got the ball, he knocked it out of the park. I can think of multiple times where Cody Rhodes, was like the IC champ, whatever, and he was mediocre. I'm not saying Cody's, like, unentertaining, right? He's just very mediocre, and I think he thinks a lot higher of himself than he should, right?
Yeah, it's like Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I loved Dashing Cody Rhodes, but like when he did the mask and all, it was great. I loved it. And then he got darker,
Yep.
He was like Dark Cody.
Right.
I thought it was great, but that's like mid-card Intercontinental Champion stuff. And it's not bad to have that role. Like, as a fan, some of those guys, like back in the day, I loved those guys that had those little character roles. But that doesn't mean he's Ric Flair. It's just he's not.
I actually saw, I was watching Joe Cronin, and he kind of said something similar. Like, he was like, what I would love Cody to do is, like, be the IC champ and bring that back in relevance. And dude, that's the perfect role for a guy like Cody.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Like I don't want him. Dude, he should not be anywhere near a Lesnar or a Reigns. Like, if he's the guy that beats Reigns for his, like, title after all this time, like, dude, oh my god, I'm sure a lot of people love it. That would be just the dumbest thing ever, though. You know what I mean? Like, just, he could be entertaining and getting paid a lot of money and doing ratings or whatever, but you can still be that middle guy. Like, you don't have to think the world of yourself. You could pay your dues and just be. Some people are just are meant to be mediocre, right?
Yeah.
And how many opportunities can you give someone to prove that they're not? And like, if he's not gonna knock it out of the park, whatever. It's like once again, his Mania match. I didn't think he knocked it out of the park. I just didn't.
I don't think so either.
And that's just one of those things. It's like, bro, I just don't like the way he carries himself. I really don't anymore. And like you said, It's like he started this revolution, and then he went off, and he's just like, it's like he acted like that didn't happen, or it wasn't. He acts like, kind of like, based on his promos and stuff, that he wasn't a part of that, and like the shit he's saying. It's like, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, okay, so here he's talking about Tony and his relationship, right?
Yeah.
Tony Khan, who I have genuine respect for, and I hope history is really kind to, because he bankrolled the entire grassroots movement, starting in ROH, and then All In happened, and of course AEW happened. He was able to buy that footage back, but I felt like we were drifting apart. Like, dog, probably because he's running a company. Like, he can't make you the priority number one all the time. He said, had I asked him for this, that was a story that I saw. I asked him for something, and I didn't get it. Had I asked him, he's the type of person that would have given it to me. It just genuinely felt that it was time. Can't comment on the personal nature of it, but there's nothing nefarious or scandalous. We just couldn't agree. So, like, once again, what's the big deal if he would have asked for it? He probably would have agreed. Like, do you know what I mean? That's very, it's so like, he just comes off as, like, stubborn and, like, narcissistic, doesn't he?
See, yeah, we drifted apart. That's an ex-girlfriend, dude.
Yeah, it's not it's not your CEO billionaire boss. Like,
maybe the new girlfriend is Phil Brooks. Maybe the new girlfriend is Bryan Danielson. Maybe the new girlfriend is Samoa Joe. Maybe the new girlfriend is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, Ring of Honor.
Right.
Interesting. Where did that come from?
Boy, maybe.
I know why. I have a Roman Reigns thought.
Oh.
But yeah, there's something there that he's not saying, but he is saying.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. He
very passive aggressive here.
He clearly is saying, like, in all of these quotes, that he views himself like he should be a number one priority, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I think in the wrestling business especially you don't
And again, you know what would help that? If you don't book yourself out of the title.
He made himself irrelevant. It's not like Tony did
It's
that.
true. He absolutely did. And you know what? I was thinking about this too before we came on here. Let's say we have the AEW book in 2019.
Yeah.
And he says, guys, I got to insist. I don't want a title run. I just don't want it. Cody, what can we do? This is Hollywood. What can Hollywood do for you to do that? No, I'm just not going to do it. I think I would say to him, okay, well, we got you for 3 years. We're going to make you tell stories, and they're going to be the best damn 5-star matches after long builds.
Yep.
Get out, go. We're going to write the shit, whatever. We're going to book it.
Yep.
And I think we could have done that, and that would have been great. That would have been a great role for him.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk, Danielson, now, freaking all these guys that Tony's bringing in, and he decides to leave that.
He left the ride before it got good. Like, it's
exactly.
Why would he? It's another thing too. It's not even like, it's like, why would he allow himself to? How could he do that to himself? He put in work there. He helped grow that company, and when it starts to get good, he leaves. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, dude, at least stay there to like reap the benefits a little bit, you know? Like, I don't.
Yeah, and that's true, dude. The toys that Tony was playing with, year 1, 2, and 3. I mean, you're talking like Joey Janela,
right?
You know, and now he just has all these toys. It's like he's just forming the roster. Like,
right.
We look at this like, well, they've been in 3 years. They've had good matches. They've had good stories. No, he's just starting, like, still forming his roster. So, man, sky's the limit. I don't know why you'd walk away from that revolution. That
well, you know, he
just
can't
help build.
He can't be the champ, and he can't be number one boy. So,
Again, number one boyo.
Right.
I guess.
So he said, all right, in this quote he's talking about, I have a watch collection, whatever. First nice watch I ever got was from Tony. Like, okay. Like, not irrelevant.
Again,
who cares?
Oh my God.
I gave it one last year as a return gift, and I thought, do I not pack this chapter over? And I packed it because it's never over. I don't even know what that means. What is he talking about? Like, he thinks he's way more important than he is.
Yeah, it's what it sounds
Tony
like.
doesn't care that he's gone. He let him leave. Like, Tony's doing business just fine, bro. Part of who I am is from those 10 years WWE and those last 6 in ROH and NJPW and AEW. I don't know if he'll ever share really ultimately what went down, but it was nothing crazy, just a rather easy decision. So to me, that means, like you said, Punk came in, Danielson came in, you know, and they just didn't have a spot for him anymore or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Doesn't that quote seem like that to you? It's just like,
yeah, it does. It almost, knowing what we know, it almost seems like maybe Tony said, look, I think we got to write in a story for you that you can get the title.
Yeah.
And Cody's like, no, I want the WWE title, so I'll go there. But that doesn't make sense, Cody. Well, I have to do it. It's just a disagreement, and we're just going to have to disagree.
Dude, nobody would have been mad if there was a storyline or something where it was like, Cody, if you win, like if Khan got involved and he was like, Cody, if you win, you'll get a title shot, and we'll like lift your contract, you know, restriction that you can't wrestle for a title, blah blah blah. It's like, if it made sense given the right context, no one's gonna get mad about the fact that Cody can now wrestle for a title. Like,
what I thought was eventually going to happen, and it's not going to happen now ever, but when MJF turned on him to start his heel run, my initial thought was, okay, one day MJF is going to have that title. He's going to go on a run and beat everybody but Cody. So he was going to say, you get out here now. I'm dropping that clause. Whatever I got to do, it's happening, and you're going to fight me for this title.
Well, you know, that would have been great, but
it would have been.
So now he's mentioning, I was there, and then the next week Ricky Starks and QT Marshall are bringing in bags, getting all my stuff out of the box, making the biggest thing they possibly could, instead of being as discreet as they possibly could, as I asked them to, and then snap, I was gone. So I don't even. So he's saying that people are bringing in his bags for him. Like, once again,
he had to throw that in there with the watch collection for some reason.
It's like, dude, he's not. All right, I had a wonderful experience there, and I feel the experience had maxed out. Rhodes stated, "You never want to start getting in a situation where the love goes away. I wanted to keep the love. I know Matt, Nick, and Kenny. I don't know if they sit in circles and hate on me or talk poorly about me. I hope they wouldn't. But if they don't know, I try to tell them on a regular basis, I absolutely love those guys. Instrumental when we did it together. Help them, they helped me, so I would nothing but love, whatever. Dude, if you say that, then you are, like, do you really think they're going to take their time of day to, like, talk about how much they hate you? Like once again, it's another thing. It's like, dude, if that's on your mind, like, the fact that he even says that is, like, he's insecure about, you know,
Yes.
his spot in the company and where it was, right? Like, bro, I don't understand, like, where this comes from and where he's very blind to, like, what's going on. And I just don't understand how a person can say all the things that he said, come back to Vince, be very happy about it, debut on Mania, forget about all the things he did in the past. You know, it's like, he's a sellout, really. It's like he's kind of the definition of a sellout. And apparently he has to mention about all the watches and stuff he gets every 5 seconds. It's like, dude, I just don't know where. And it's not like, dude, I wish the guy the best. I hope he becomes that guy that's, like, really entertaining. I hope we see a different Cody. I hope he's, you know, can break out of his shell a little bit. I just really can't see that happening. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and this is, you know, everything we've said. This is why for the past, I don't know, last month that we saw Cody on TV regularly, he was getting booed out of the building. Like, he was getting the John Cena treatment.
Yeah.
And this is why. It's shit like this, all these little drop quotes, you know, that he has. It really seems like he thinks he's somebody that he's just quite not. And it rubs people the wrong way.
I'm actually surprised that he doesn't rub more people the wrong way. Like, I'm surprised at how many people will still go and, you know, defend him. And, like, that you could tell that, like, there's so many people. Like, dude, I'm telling you, 90% of wrestling Twitter that I saw loved that match. And I just didn't really understand it. I didn't get it. And I'm telling you, like, the only way you can love that match, because it's not like it was a technical masterpiece. The story they told wasn't anything great. Like, I'm telling you, the only way you can love that match is if you truly love Cody. Like,
yeah,
like, you have to,
or you're on Team WWE, because if you're that, like, because I don't want to say we were these guys. At some point, you know, everybody was that guy. They had their company or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is due to the fact that maybe there's a pocket of WWE fans that don't watch AEW, but they know that Cody's there and Cody started it and Cody's running it. They think he's that guy, and WWE just got him.
I agree with you that's got to be part of it, because if people truly watched AEW TV, you know, for the past, I don't even, like, a year and a half now, excuse me, like, Cody hasn't really done much, man. And like you said, there's got to be that's got to be what people, like you said, that's got to be the main WWE draw. It's like, dude, they probably heard his music, saw him, like, you know, don't watch every week, whatever, don't realize, like you said, they got the big guy, you know.
Yep.
It's like WCW guy coming over back in the day.
Yeah, the guys I mentioned earlier that Cody worked with, add Malachi Black to that, because that was his debut.
Mm-hmm.
He knocked the shit out of Cody and Arn.
Mm-hmm.
And then add Anthony Ogogo to that, and who we've never seen again on Dynamite since he worked with Cody at that train wreck. So really, if you look at it, it's like 7 programs he had. Some were short, some were long, and none of them were really good. I mean, the Dustin match was epic, and then nothing.
Yep.
And that's what you got.
So here, like, just, I guess, just to put a bow on this, kind of, because we've already been going for like 40 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
To put a bow on this, dude, I as we were just talking there, I decided to search up, you know, some Twitter things, and of course I went to Meltzer, and this is a direct quote from Meltzer about this match. Rhodes won after 3 crossroads. Seth was tremendous in this match. They were put in the position to deliver a classic, and they delivered. No, I don't know how. Even if you enjoy it, I don't think you can call it a classic. Like,
no. I honestly don't think it was the best match at WrestleMania. So
no, I think Austin and Owens was better just because they told a story and it was, you know.
Yeah, and they did 5 moves to each other.
Yeah. So here's the other thing about the IWC, right? No one's gonna. I mean, everyone knows this. People that watch this video know this. You know this, whatever. There's always gonna be a disagreement, right? So this guy had 17 likes. Personally, think it was just a spot fest after the midpoint of the match. And then the next guy comments, dude, Sammy kicked out of a tombstone from the second rope. Comments like yours are why people can't stand AEW stands. right? It's gonna be a gigantic argument regardless. But for the most part, people think it was really good, and I don't know, man. I don't see. It's just like, dude, like I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do, and that can break out of his shell. I can't see him being something that isn't, what he's been for the past 6 years, right? Like, can you see him doing anything interesting?
No, and I think that's why I brought up Roman Reigns, because I had a thought in my head. So Roman Reigns is doing the family thing right now, right?
Right.
He hasn't done it his whole career, even though we know who he is.
Right.
But he's been doing the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine him and the Usos are still doing the bloodline 6 years from now. 6 years from now. Do you think people are going to grow tired of it? The answer is obviously yes.
Right. At some point, you'd be expecting a breakup or, a feud of one or both of those guys.
Right.
That's a great way to put it, actually. It's like how, but for some reason, bro, people aren't sick of him. And I don't understand why. It's like, it's actually very telling that Tony let him leave, because if he was truly indispensable, right, there's no way Tony would not have worked something out with him. You know what I mean? Like, if he was truly that guy that WWE thinks he is, and a lot of people think he is, Tony would have thrown more money at him, because, Tony has the money to do that. Tony would have put him on the card. He would have been like, dude, you can't be gone. We need you, whatever. They don't need him anymore. They don't.
No.
It's just one of those things where he's clearly not the guy he thinks he is,
Yep, and we're going to find out. Time will tell. I want to see the WWE Universe, if they get tired of him, if they keep supporting him, how long can he carry this through? And I got to say, too, like, Roman is gimmicked, but it's not really gimmicky, right?
Right.
Same thing with Brock. I mean, he was, kind of Farmer Joe Brock this time around, but he's still Brock.
Right.
So the main guys, it seems like they have more or less subtle gimmicks. But as I'm watching WWE this weekend, and which, so people know, we don't watch it hardcore like week to week to week, because I'd rather bang my head off a wall.
Right.
But for WrestleMania, yeah, of course, I'm a WWE fan once a year, one weekend a year. But after seeing like the tag team match, for example, Riddle is insane with the bro, and the private party with talent, the Street Profits. I mean, they're really good, but they're gimmicked, right?
Right.
They're showing clips of Sheamus's crew, and you have little Pete Dunne there, Butch. He's in full gimmick, like he's Spike Dudley, like Irish version, even though he's not Irish, but whatever. Vince, it doesn't matter.
No, he's from Europe.
But you have this stuff, and Kofi's on a four-wheeler honking, din, 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 and he's doing the gyrations, and I'm watching all this shit, and I'm digesting it, and then I see Cody Rhodes as the American Nightmare, and I'm thinking, there's no way you're going to be able to sustain that.
Absolutely
Even
not.
if Vince can figure a way how to book him,
yeah,
it's not going to fit.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's going to be back. Like, I know he just said in one of these interviews, like, one of the things was Stardust never coming back. Vince will make you do whatever he wants you to do, bro. If he says you're going to be Stardust by the end of the year, you're going to be Stardust. And I'm telling you, that's probably going to come to something like that. I'm telling you, dude, he's going to get in a few. I don't know if this Seth thing's not over. They might come back to it, and he might come back as Stardust. You know what I mean? Because of the whole visionary thing. And I would like that more than, personally, like the American Nightmare versus Seth. I think that could be some pretty enjoyable TV.
It could be.
It's just one of those things where, like, I don't see Vince putting up with it, like you said. Like, I just don't
see how it's going to fit and get over.
No.
Honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, that works in AEW.
Right.
Absolutely. But I don't know if it works in WWE.
WWE is such a TV specific, and, like, they need a lot of, like, they need characters,
Absolutely.
AEW, you can do whatever you want, whatever. It's like CM Punk is just being himself, and people love that. It's different,
Mm-hmm.
It's very different.
But I want to know, really, if we are the only ones that feel like this, or are there other AEW fans that have been watching, Dynamite for the past 3 years that view Cody like we do? Where are those people? Because all I'm seeing is praise for the great Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
If you agree with us, let us know, because
please,
I want to know.
Yeah, please let us know. So we got, you just get a thread going in the comments, but we did set up a Discord for, sharing news, whatever. If you guys want to come discuss, if you ever want to get on the show, we can get you on there in the Discord. So I'll link that in the description of the stream / the video.
They could leave us a message too, right? Like a voicemail.
Yeah, they can leave us a message. Throw a voicemail in there. I just if you guys want to leave us a voice message, we can respond to them and we can put them in a video. We could do something like that. So just however you guys want to contact us and give some feedback on this video, that'd be great. Because like Edward said, I don't I need to find I want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and I'll leave it at this. Whether you're an AEW fan, Impact fan, ROH, New Japan, WWE, watch what you like. We're not telling you to stop watching anything, but this is just our opinion. So
yes,
I want to know where those other people are because, man, oh man, Cody's got me gritting my teeth here.
Yeah, man. Don't just let us know from your perspective, because with respect, man, we'll we just want to hear where you're coming from, because we don't really get it, but is what it is. Anything else, Edwards?
Nope. I think we did it.
All right, nice. All right, so if you guys watch live, thanks for watching. This will come up. I'm gonna leave the full stream up, but I'm gonna do a little highlight video kind of thing, a little condensed thing, so you don't have to watch 50 minutes of this. But thanks for watching if you guys tuned in live, and thanks for watching if you watched the full live discussion. And we'll probably see you soon. I don't know, whenever we feel like it again. Probably sometime this week. We'll see. Hollywood, you got anything?
Nope. Keep watching that wrestling.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.